We on season 2, episode 58. We're gonna be handling two different videos that we're gonna react to and get into a conversation with, which is Chris Paul explains the greatness. Chris Paul explains the reality of chasing greatness, and Guy says nobody cares about a man's mental health. We're gonna get into that and more, but before we do that, we're gonna get into the intro. Let's go.
Definitely
This
the
got
brain
me
blast
thinking.
right here. Yeah, that's the brain blast right there. Make you think. It's talking about him finding his father, but also tying it in with God, and that hits on both levels.
Someone did say that no one has seen this doctor since.
I'm not surprised.
What are we talking about? No, what are we talking about?
You don't like that?
No, what are we doing?
All right, man.
Yeah, he got his shock value.
Oh boy.
I'm just saying we can't say that he was because they
Whoa,
could
What the fuck? Hector, we about to end the show, nigga. I might have to.
You gotta edit that out. You have to edit that out.
Hector, what the hell is wrong with you? All right, man. Like I said, first thing we'll be getting into is Chris Paul explains the reality of chasing greatness. Let's get into it. You ready, Kyle?
Oh, absolutely. Let's do it.
All right.
Anytime you look at a video, an old video, what you gonna look for? Probably gonna look for you.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm looking at the video and I'm like, dang, where am I? I probably brought Papa to surprise him because I always was with him. During the speech, my brother says, and I know Chris would say this if he was here. So I called my mom and I said, Mom, where was I? And she said what month it was, and she said you was probably at an AAU tournament, right? Playing travel basketball. And that's when it hit me. And at the time, I was watching this video while I was in Arizona, where I live without my wife and my kids for the last 4 years. That's when it hit me that majority of my life, I've been missing things, like just constantly missing things and striving to be like the best player that you can be. And man, this ain't supposed to be this kind of podcast. Anytime you look at a video.
All right, that's what Chris Paul had to say. So, Kyle, what do you think about the sacrifices that have to be made to, to strive for greatness, and also the aspect that, Chris Paul is giving you, like, yo, this is the life of the NBA player. Like, there's a lot of sacrifices that have to be made that y'all don't get to see. You see the emotions on Chris Paul's face and how much it affected him with the things that he missed, because he is striving for greatness and he's trying to be the best basketball player he can be. So, what do you think about that?
Oh man, I think it's real heavily, especially for an athlete. I seen, First Take or Undisputed, like Shannon Sharp talk about it. Like, you got to make serious sacrifices for that career, especially, and even though football is shorter, basketball's longer. Basketball, you could be starting training camp as far as September, and then if you make it to the playoffs or even the finals, it ends to June.
Yeah,
So
it's a long
you're
time.
going to make major sacrifices. And mind you, folks, basketball is 82 games in the season. Now, you make the playoffs, you don't know. It could be from 4 games to 15, 20 games. You just don't know. So you got to have, like, if you're going to build a foundation, build a family, you need somebody who's strong right there to maybe, like, you can't take the kids to the park. You can't take the kids to school. You can't take the kids shopping because you got to lock in. At the end of the day, because you're putting a roof over their head. You're paying the light bill. You're trying to be the best you can be, but at the same time, it's like you're trying to do something that you love, but you're sacrificing your time with them so they can have a brighter future at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And that, and it's gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt you right now, but some people know how to cope with it. And I seen pretty much he just broke down completely.
Because, I mean, his
And
career is over now.
Yep.
And then that's another good point too when it comes to Chris and Chris shoes. His career is over now, and so now he get to
Hmm.
think back of all the things that he has missed. And I guess when you are at the end of your career, then I guess you start to ask yourself, was this worth it? Now that I'm here, now that it's over, and I can't do this, everything that I sacrificed this for, I can't do that no more. So was it worth it?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, look, my man been in the game for almost 20 years. What, 20 years? And I think the way he broke down is the way. Remember, think about the way he got sent home. Like, yo, you don't have to come back. You could go, sign on. Like, you could go, leave, do what you got to do, and you don't have to come back. Think about it to now. Like, pretty much the whole NBA season's over, and in all the months that you've been playing basketball, you with your kids. Now you seeing a difference. Like, oh my God, I miss about 8, 9 months of my kids' lives because I'm trying to pretty much, trying to be the best I could be. But at the end of
Every
the day,
single year.
maybe that's not the right path for me. Because sometimes you may not be thinking about that when you're 19, but when you're 39, you're like, whoa, wait a minute
And
now.
that's every
Maybe I
year
meant to,
too. You have a long
yeah,
career. That's 9 months of every single year. That's a lot.
absolutely.
Yeah, that's
It's
a
a
lot.
lot.
So even when you speak on it, and I mean, it applies to every field. It applies to just life. Um, when you have to feel like you have to make a sacrifice, or you feel like you got to miss special things and special events, um, not realizing how much you're missing because you're trying to, you know, try for something. So do you like? I don't know, like who feels like it's worth it, who feel like it is worth it. Like this is definitely more so of a man conversation. Um,
Absolutely.
because those are the balance and the battles that you will have to constantly deal with if you're trying to if you have certain goals that you're trying to complete and you need to kind of lock into it and miss some things or make some type of sacrifices in order to do it. So um yeah, man, it's a lot. It's like I guess it depends on how you look at it. It depends on what you really want out of life and the type of balance you want to have. Uh, it's hard to know if Chris Paul is coping with that at this time or not. Because Chris Paul always seemed like a more family oriented person and stuff like that. He always been seemed like he always been close with his family. So this might be a very hard pill for him to swallow as far as like being at the age he at now and looking back and be like, dang, I wish I had that time or I wish I didn't miss these moments. Because I don't think he'd be breaking down, getting emotional about it if it didn't mean anything to him. Um, or if he ever had to question if he thinks it was worth it or not. But um, for me, I just think it's a balance. You got to figure out what you really want out of life, how your life is actually set up, and the direction you're trying to go in. You got to ask yourself how much of a sacrifice you're willing to do for it, and does it really make sense for your psyche, your mental? Does it make sense for your family? Like, is it understood across the board that this sacrifice, will be worth it or not? Um,
Absolutely.
so I think it just goes down to each man and their life and how they want to balance that. But yeah, man, I thought it was interesting, real interesting for him to be this vulnerable about it.
And I think to me, it's like you have that so much of love of the game, but maybe chasing that fact you're so close the last few years of winning the NBA championship, and then you just like one more year, just give me one more year, and then you see like the stuff like you see he pretty much mentored Wemby the year before, and then the whole chaos with the Clippers, and then maybe something clicked in his mind like, oh, maybe this ain't the right path for me right now. Maybe I need to take a step back and be more of a family orientating guy because I did what I had to do. I did put the sacrifice in. Now it's time for me to be the husband, the dad that I really need to be in life.
Yeah,
Because 20 years, man, look, was it like 12, 13-time All-Star, 75th All-NBA player, should have won MVP. Like, man, he's one of the greatest point guards we will ever see in this lifetime. But maybe chasing the NBA championship, injuries derailed him because he was close a couple times, but injuries happened. But at the end of the day, he's seen it for himself. Like, when the Clippers let him go, maybe, damn, I missed all this time. But the best thing I could do now is make it up to him now. Then he just got emotional, and at the end of the day, like, pretty much piggyback what you're saying, it's got to be a balance with yourself. It got to be a balance. You got to have a headstrong woman, like, as your wife or your partner with your kids, so it could be a balance for you at the same time. So if you're gone for half of the year or longer, she can handle that and make sure to hold you down rather than doing nonsense.
Yeah.
So yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. If you got any questions, we can keep going into it. If you don't have any more questions, whatever, we can go into the next thing. Up to you.
No, I mean, pretty much. I seen how vulnerable the brother is. I mean, he played, like it or not, he played 2 decades, so I could see the expression on his face, and I've seen from different type of athletes, and don't have to be basketball, like doing so much sacrifice.
Yeah.
And it's like I never seen my kids birthdays, or I ain't see my kids go to the prom. So I've been seeing it. They talk about it on television, but him breaking, and then I never seen people be emotional as he's shown on this video. So
and we're gonna definitely get into more in this format. We're gonna definitely get into more like taking it off the person and then asking like general questions, like things that you would want to know. Like if I say like, yo, Kyle, how do you feel about making sacrifices to strive for something or whatever personally and stuff like that. So sometimes we'll put people on a person and then we'll get to the end of like speaking it in general to make it more personal.
Oh, absolutely. Definitely a good topic about this, man, especially for a great athlete. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I think a lot of guys can understand it, no matter where you at, because it's not about someone being at the end goal or the end product. It's about the mindset and where you're trying to get to, and what you're willing to give up to do it.
Oh yeah, like he was close. What was it, like 3-4 years? He was so close. It's just that ending in Phoenix, it was just bad. They had an opportunity that year, and they let Giannis come back off his leg injury, and coach act like he didn't know what he was doing, and cost them an NBA championship.
All right, we're gonna move on to we got another thing. Found this on IG. This guy name is, what's his name? Darius Benders. God says nobody cares about a man's mental health until it turns into anger. Let's take a look at it. All right.
He cares about a man's mental health until it turns into anger, then everybody sees him as the bad person. Let me tell you why a lot of men don't talk. Because most men learn early that nobody really wants to hear it. You lose money, nobody cares. Your girl leaves, figure it out. You stressed, figure it out. You got family depending on you, bills piling up, business not moving how you want, and you still gotta wake up and perform like everything's perfect. Nobody's pulling up asking if you're good. Nobody's checking to see what's been on your mind. As long as you're producing, providing, and showing up, everybody's happy. Then one day, the pressure starts leaking out. Now you're frustrated. Now you're irritated. Now you're short with people, and suddenly everybody becomes a mental health expert. He's angry. He's toxic. Something must be wrong with him. Yeah, something probably is wrong. But nobody cared when he was carrying it quietly. And every man watching this knows exactly what I'm talking about, because we all had moments where we were helping everybody else while nobody knew we were barely holding it together ourselves. That's why I respect men who keep going. Not because they're emotionless, but because a lot of times they're fighting battles nobody even knows exist. Nobody.
All right, that's what this guy had to say.
Jeez.
It's a few questions I have for this, for sure, because I think it's different ways you can look at it. One, I mean, is ask you, do you think that's true that nobody cares about a man's mental health?
Somewhat, I agree with that. Somewhat, yes.
Somewhat, okay, yeah. Don't care about a man's mental health until he's angry, and then everyone sees him as a bad person. I think there's two sides to the coin of that. Like, he's not saying something that is not a possibility of happening for sure. Like, I've seen these things. Some of these things hit home in different ways. The one side of looking at it is he can definitely be 100% correct on that. Like, a lot of times people do not see, I guess you could say, what men are going through quietly, but you know, no one's checking up on them. No one's trying to see if they fine. No one is giving them that support or whatever. Um, and the only time someone want to pay attention to them is if maybe they finally snap, or maybe they finally react to something, whatever the case may be. Then that's when someone wants to realize something is wrong, but they never checked in to begin with to even know. So that definitely can be true 100%. The flip side to it that I know, also, this is a flip side to it, is that can be a possibility, but the other thing that can also be a possibility is because it's all about the person. And depending on the person, depending on the man, and the stage of life that you're at, that person can, let's say you are trying to check up on somebody. Let's say let's say you do have people in your corner, right? But maybe you're not the type of person that receive those things well. Maybe you're the type of person that distance yourself and run away from the same people that are trying to support you and trying to check in on you and stuff like that. So at that point, whose problem really is it? On that side, you have that side where you have people that run away from it and they don't know how to receive things properly from the people that's trying to support them and check up on them. And then you have the other side where no one's checking up on them at all. And so they deal with this stuff internally. And then the only time people want to act like they want to pay attention is when you finally react to something, whatever. So those are the two ways I look at it. And another thing that I'll put on it is the fact that another nuance is where you at in life, your stage of the stage that you're at in life and your age matters. So
Yes, it does.
I can say maybe I had some trouble with that in the past when I was younger, because as a young guy, when you feel like you have a lot of stuff on you, but no one is caring, yeah, that can definitely wear on you, and you might not go about things properly in those moments in time. And that could be understandable when you are, a young man when you're younger. This is where I don't give this grace. If you at a certain stage of life, or you're supposed to be, as when you a grown man, shouldn't be any excuse. If you're still worrying about trying to hold things together in your life, and you're past a certain stage of life and you're past a certain age, at a certain point it kind of gets unacceptable, because at some point you got to look at yourself and ask yourself, are you developing yourself in these areas to not be dealing with stuff like you're still 20 something? Because life ain't going nowhere. Life is going to be life in, and things is going to always be happening in your life, and nothing is going to ever be perfect. So you can't forever always use the excuse of, the moment things start happening, you start lashing out. At some point, you get a little too grown to be doing that, and you should be having some type of understanding and maturity at a certain point, to where the moment something happens, you don't just lash out, or you don't just start, reacting. So it's like, if I'm speaking for myself, it's like, yeah, once upon a time, it was a certain way how I reacted to things when things was happening in my life, and then at a certain point that doesn't exist anymore, because I just got older, I grew up, and I matured. So I had enough things happen in my life as a young man to where what do I look like as a grown man reacting to every little thing and every little problem, and that makes me react, or that makes me uh turn it into anger and stuff like that. Like that's not where I'm at in life to where that makes sense for me to do. So it's definitely both sides of the coin of looking at it for sure.
Oh yeah. Like very good video that the person made of. I got a couple things about this. First thing is like, okay, start off like piggybacking off what you're saying. I'm like, okay, how was the situation you was when you was little?
Right.
You know, did you have a two-family household or you had a single parent? That changes a lot in today's world, because I've seen a lot of people who don't have that foundation, and they don't have their parents, or they have a guardian, and that's the way they act, because I know, associate, he's down in state in Jersey, but the way he acts is so immature, and you like, yo, what's going on with him? Like the way he's acting, you like, he ain't had that foundation when he was younger, so he didn't get built a certain way, and you be like, oh, okay, I understand, but
Mm.
there's no reason, no excuse to tolerate the nonsense that you're doing as a grown man.
Right.
Like you got sometimes you have to wake up and see it for yourself. Like, okay, you getting emotional over something really silly. And pretty much I've seen people be emotional, be silly in this like really this be self mode, or pretty much talk crap on somebody else, and 100%, and don't have to be with that person. It all ends with you at the end of the day.
Yeah.
That's one thing I have. Two, as a man, you gotta just look and see what's going on in life, including yours, because sometimes everything's not perfect on your side and on everybody's side.
Yeah.
So, as a man, you can't be saying, oh, look at this person's life. Oh, that person's life is so perfect. Oh, why can't I be him? You can't dream and think about somebody else. The only person you could think of to make better is yourself. I've seen too many times and too many people say, oh, watch this. I'm going to be just like him. Or I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. You can't do that in today's world, because you're being in competition with somebody else, and they're not even worried about you. You're supposed to uplift and make better of yourself. That's the problem with men have in today's world. Too many times I see it, and I'm like, bro, you can't do that. The best thing you could do is uplift yourself. And I've seen people go on self mode, and then it makes it better for them, because I've done it before. Sometimes you just gotta lock in. Like, do you have the right? Is it the right time to check up on somebody after a while? Yes. But some people don't know how to receive it well. Yes, I've seen it, done it. And all you can do, if they don't reach out, leave a message, step back. That's all you can do in life. Because at the end of the day, if you keep constantly nag, it's like, yo, you're focusing more about them than you focusing about yourself. And a lot of people have a problem with that. Like, you don't have to be nosy, stuck in somebody else's business. You got to worry about yourself being as well. And that's how a lot of people just not headstrong enough in this world.
Yeah. And I think when it comes to like, because what he is speaking on is the burden that people have to go through, and you're not gonna always handle it, perfectly. You're not gonna always handle it the way it should be handled, because that's his life. People gonna be people.
Yeah.
But I think what comes with that should have been the other side of the conversation is, um, when do you decide to grow out of things? Are you actually putting yourself in a better position to get through it or not? And the reality is, you do need people. Like, everything is not about one person. Like, life is about people. And so you know, based off what he's saying, like people don't want to check in and none of that other stuff. It's like, yeah, that can be true, but is this is it's always gonna be two, I guess you could say
Two sides of the coin.
two different types of people. Like
Yeah.
some people want to be checked on, and some people just don't. And that's just what it is. Now, depending on how you go about it, like for example, if you're the type of person that, all right, so I believe that everybody should always get checked up on. Like, you know, if you have support from people that's willing to check up on you, that's a blessing. No one should take that for granted.
Amen.
No one should ever take that for granted. Um, so you know, if you handle that the right way and you receive it the right way, then that can be the benefit that I think that guy, what he's talking about, that's what you're looking for. You take that benefit, and then you know maybe no one has to. You won't have to worry about no one seeing you as the bad guy, or you don't have to worry about lashing out and stuff like that, because you have the emotional support that you need from, you know, people that's willing to check up on you before you get to that point, right? And then the other
Mhm.
side is, if you're not that type of person that allows people to check up on you, and you're not the, then you better be extremely headstrong to where you're not being immature about things,
Yep.
because then that's just gonna fall back on you. So if you feel like you can handle things on your own, and you feel like you don't need that support, or you don't, even if it don't cross your mind, but uh you're not really engaging with the people that is, you know, willing to support you. Like if you're not willing to take that in because you're just focused on yourself, that's cool. But then you can't turn around and use that for being a shitty person and trying to act like nobody is trying to be there for you. So you got people
Absolutely.
that's real about it, and you got some people that's fake about it. And so the honest truth about that is that there's two separate sides to this, and it's not just one size fit all. Um, so I think people got to be really mindful of, like how I was saying, you got to be able to look at yourself and ask yourself, are you putting yourself in the best position to get out of these mental lapses, wherever the case may be? And are you actually using your support system to be able to help you out with that, or are you just ignoring it? And you're gonna have to pick a side. If you want to ignore it, then you better be headstrong enough to not do what he's saying, where you're reacting to everybody and now you looking crazy. Because then at that point you got to look at yourself. So it's I think you got to, as a man, you got to figure out how you want to go about things, and you got to figure out what is the best way of you not just doing best for yourself, but also how you're affecting or treating other people that's in your circumference at the same time. So
100%.
quick question, Kyle. Do you feel like at any point in your life where you felt like this was you, where you felt like uh you're in this position now and you don't know how you can get things together, and because of the emotional feelings that you have with what's going on in your life, uh now that turns into this, as far as like you're reacting to people in a certain way that you wouldn't normally react, and now it becomes a thing where people are asking like what's wrong?
No, not really. Not asking what's wrong. Because sometimes, here's the thing about with certain people. It's a good question that you bring up. Sometimes it's good enough to go in self mode because just to clear things up with yourself, or you gotta lock in because you could be busy with so many different things.
Right.
It doesn't mean that you're slipping or whatever. Sometimes I just gotta handle this for like a couple weeks, and then I'll be good.
Yeah.
Because sometimes it could be just work.
Right.
Like, you could be so tied up at work for so long. Maybe you have a project due at work. It's going to take you like 6 weeks, but you need all the attention to be on that. Sometimes you can't just be on the phone or text it or being on the game or play basketball or any type of activities.
Right.
You got to lock in. So, and there's people, it's a blessing as people reaching out to you and you just got small talking for a little bit, like, hey, this is what's going on. I appreciate you reaching out, but I have this situation going on.
Right.
When it's done, I'll hit you as soon as possible.
Right.
But the problem is, a lot of people's not doing that. This is the problem of being an adult. If somebody's reaching out, take the time and courtesy to reach back. And just tell them if it can't be a long conversation, like, hey, tell them what's going on. Hey, got stuff going on. I hit you as soon as I can. But if you can't, I'm like, but I seen people don't hit the person up at all, and they be like, yo, man, it's been about like 4 or 5 months. He good? I don't know.
Right.
I've seen that too many times. But to answer your question, Doc, like maybe with work, okay, I gotta lock in for like 2-3 weeks. But besides that, nah.
Yeah.
How about yourself?
I would say I was raised a certain way, and with that, if I fumble, I can identify it, and I'll
Okay.
change it. I'll change it as quick. So I'm the type of person that have enough self-awareness to where, like, even in my younger years, like, yeah, there were times where a lot was weighing on me and not really sure how to handle it. I know I want to handle it the right way, but maybe in certain those moments when I was younger, I didn't handle it in the right way. But I would know that immediately I didn't, and then I'll look to try to make adjustments, or I'll look to self-develop myself to try to figure out why am I doing that and not to do that, because I think about myself, and then I think about people around me, because that's how I am, and I'm a considerate person. Um, and the older I get, the more I appreciate the connection that I have with people, are people just taking the time out to even care. Like, so,
Absolutely.
yeah, you will know you've been around my life my whole life. Yeah, there's moments where you're just too busy. There's moments where you just
Yeah.
got too much going on. And I can say I handle it 10 times better now than I did when I was younger. Because when I was much younger in my 20s, if things was too hard on me, or I felt like things was, me was like being a sensitive guy, it was just more like, there was times where niggas got a reaction out of me because
Oh yeah.
what was weighing on my shoulders, whatever. But like I said, what happens is you get older, you mature, and at least for me, the reason why you never see me do that often, the reason why I can say that, and you'd be like, I don't remember you ever really doing that like that, it's because we're human. Because I pick it up very quickly, and I know right from wrong. I don't just be focusing on myself. So even if I do something because I know, like, for example, if I'm in a relationship and it's too much burden on me, and then maybe I'll react to something because you're doing way too much, but I'm only reacting unusual because it's too much on me, but I know you're playing a part in that, right? It's like,
Mm-hmm.
I know it still doesn't give me the right though. Like, at the end of the day, I still care about how I affect you regardless of what I'm affected by. So I gotta find a way to make an adjustments, and I gotta find a way. Reality is, I gotta find a way to look in the mirror to see, you know, to not do that. And I guess it became more easier for me to grow out of it, because you just gotta start appreciating certain things in life, and you gotta start caring about other people than just yourself. Like, so when you go in solo mode, like I've done solo things, whatever the case may be, at the end of the day, if someone reach out to me, it's not about how long I'm gonna reach back out. Like, I'm
Yeah.
just gonna say something, and I'm gonna let you know what's going on, and then I'm gonna keep moving. I'm gonna keep doing what I'm doing, but I'm not gonna take for granted someone checking up on me and stuff like that, because I know how it feels to do stuff quietly. I've been there already. You know what I'm saying? And that's not really a good feeling, whatever. And a lot of times it's not the best thing for you, because it's like you're trying to force yourself it's like you're trying to force yourself in a position to be like, "Ah, I'm doing this by myself," whatever.
Yeah.
And that's just all pride. And at the end of the day, if that's all you have left when you look up, because you kind of alienated everybody around you, then you're not gonna really feel too. If you're a decent human being, you're not gonna really feel too good about that. No matter who you are, if you're a decent person that was raised decently and you have people around you like family and friends, whatever, you're not gonna feel too good about that. When that smoke clears and that pride goes away and all you had left was your pride and no one's saying nothing to you because you blocked them off, you're not going to feel that good about it after the fact. So for
Mm.
me, it was like, what's the point of doing that? So it's like, you know, think about it like this. Everybody makes time for things that's important to them. No matter how busy you are, that is a fact.
Absolutely.
Everybody knows that. You can make the time. You can make 2 seconds, 3 seconds. Just like niggas want to sit up there and be on social media and chat away. It's like, bro, the time is there for things that's important to you. That's why you do.
Absolutely.
That's why you're doing other things other than just be busy at the same time. So for me, it's like I just don't take the people that's important to me, what's important to me. I don't take it for granted. So now at this point, even if I am going through things, I'm a grown man. I don't have a reason for people to be like, why is Ray reacting this way? Or no one gonna need to ask me, hey, what's wrong with Ray? He good? You can ask me directly, I'll tell you. And if I got stuff weighing on my shoulders, I'm never gonna allow it to affect other people because it's affecting me. I'm just too much of a grown. It don't make sense to me. Like I'm a grown man with a different stage of life, so there's no way I can justify what I'm going through to deal with somebody a certain way or just act like I don't need to deal with nobody. Screw y'all. I'm gonna figure this out myself. I don't want nobody to check up on me. Or I'm gonna react a certain way and become quote unquote, like you said, the bad person. I'm never gonna be in that predicament because that's an immature way of you still can't handle your problems correctly. That's how I look at it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a grown ass man. I can handle my problems correctly. I can go through things and be able to handle it. Like it ain't too much for me. And if it's too much for me at this point, that means there's a lot of areas that I missed on self development. And that's where you got to look in the mirror and be real with yourself when it comes to that. For me personally, answering that question at 35 years old, it's no reason for me to use what I'm going through as an excuse to be a shady person to somebody else or act like I can't handle stuff at this point in time in my life. Like things are hard, but I guess I'm just at a point having a strong enough mental where I just think I'll handle it, I'll figure it out, and just keep it moving.
That's all you can do in this life, man. Just roll with the punches and keep it moving.
So, and I try to take the time out to, because I know it's real for everybody. It's real for everybody. So I try to take the time out to check in on people and try to see what's going on, whatever. Um, if somebody disappears, I'm gonna be the first person to acknowledge that someone has disappeared. Someone might need to see if nigga, all right. Cause you just never know with people. You never know what people are going through in their lives. You never know when someone wants somebody to check up on them or not, whatever. And let them do whatever they want to do with. Always think about like just be a good person to people. And whatever they choose to do with that, that's their decision, that's their choice and their prerogative. But always choose to be a good person. Choose to be a good friend, a good family member, brother, sister, whatever case may be. Like choose that no matter what. If you know that's in your heart and whatever they do with it, just let them do whatever they do with it. Do whatever they want to do with that. But that's how I look at it. So anything else before we end the show? And we're gonna transition to the hip hop show.
We touched everything. This is a good convo, bro.
Yeah, good convo. We're gonna keep it going like this. For anybody to make people aware, we're gonna we're gonna pretty much like let people come in as they please. Let some of my friends come in as they please, as far as like coming in for these conversations and these episodes. So you might not see the same people every single time. Some people you might see every single time.
Oh, you're gonna see me. You're gonna see me. That ain't gonna change. You're gonna see me as long as this show's on, you're gonna see me every Sunday.
So we definitely gonna keep it moving in this direction, and we're definitely gonna end the season and get into another season that's gonna change kind of the format and shorten it up a little bit too, so we can have these real in-depth conversations with each other. Um, and yeah, that's pretty much it. So before we get out of here, just let everybody know where they can follow you, Kyle.
Oh man, thank you everybody. I know we haven't been on for a little bit. Hey, life been happening. Just follow my brother's social medias. He's gonna keep y'all tapped in with everything. Just wait a few minutes. I don't know what we're gonna be doing our next move, but you never know, man. It's still Iceman season out here. We still ain't finished it off, man.
We're gonna finish.
We still ain't finished Iceman. Y'all know how I feel about Iceman, and you know how he feels about Iceman. So we probably gonna do part 3 of it. It's gonna, there's a couple tracks on there. I'm gonna be right tuned. There's a couple tracks on there. I'm like, what the fuck is this? Why is this on the album? But you can follow me on Facebook and YouTube, Kyle Pompey, KYLE POMPEY, Instagram, West WEST _819. And go ahead to my brother and the host. Go ahead, Ray.
And you can follow me on King Ray TV on Facebook and IG to stay up to date on the show, as well as our other show that we're about to do right now, For the Love of Hip Hop. And if you enjoyed the show, click the like button, subscribe to the channel, as well as click on the link in the description below where you'll catch this show live. We're going to try to come here every Sunday. But, if you just follow us, the notifications will be on. So anytime we are going live, you'll see it. Try to be here every Sunday, 11:30 Eastern Time on Twitch. And we out. Love.
Hey.